that's gonna be a bit silly whenever Braden eventually gets around to editing this. There's no intro, and I also forgot. Oh man, when I post the VOD series for this, it's gonna be so silly. At least we didn't actually get anything started. As a matter of fact, I've got things more settled in, so that's good. Well, welcome. We're going to be continuing on with where we left off on Ace Attorney. I think last time I played it, which was like a month or two ago, we had some interesting revelations made, but unfortunately back then my PC was still pretty fucked, and so it 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 ended up crashing midway through it, and I don't think there's autosave in this game, which is fine because that just means that I've got a big brain through it all over again. You know, it's not too terrible, so we'll just pick back up where we left off. How's everything else looking? How's stream looking? How's stream sounding? Everything seem alright? But I can't wait to get back into this. This game was like so fun to voice act. The aim of today's stream is just to go a couple hours. What? Brandon, what happened to you? Oh, was it whenever you guys were working out? Braden was telling me about that, I think, yesterday. I think I heard, yeah, that you guys were... Ah, I see. I might be able to join you guys this next week. I don't think you were there when I mentioned it yesterday, but next week I'm going to be working 6 out of the 7 days, and so I might be able to join you. Ah, leg day. I get ya. Are y'all cooking things today? Without me, though? I'll get us back into the nitty-gritty of it all. Main objective of today is to see how long I can go. I'll probably aim... I'm going to aim for my regular 2 hours, but if we can go further and get a longer stream time, I definitely do want to aim to go for that. Okay, let me remember where we left off because it's been a while. So sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. Oh, right. I forgot. This was such a cool revelation. Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to do in order to in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. I didn't know. I never knew that the SL9 incident was just another name for Joe Dart killings. Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me. Anna wanted Dart convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me. What do you mean, what happened to you? It's all there in the file. Joe Dart's last victim was Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He was murdered. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence. But what did you have to do with those killings, Emma? On the night Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dart tried to kill me. What? He tried to kill you? Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me. So that means you... Yes, I was a witness in the Joe Dart trial. I didn't see that one coming. Well... Oh wait, hold on, do I got things? Let's see. It was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. And suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office. Joe Dart. It seemed he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up. Jake Marshall's brother. Joe Dart tried to take me hostage, but before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then, what happened? I'll never forget it. Lightning struck and the lights went out. Suddenly, A bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting the office for just an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now. Permanent picture? Nolan Dark? I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that deep. I don't remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall. So you weren't able to testify about that? No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why she made up the crime. Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence? The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it. Edgeworth? Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean. It's all my fault. I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened. So it's true, even though he may not have known it. Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence. After the case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold like she is today. Must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. What did you see in the instant that crime occurred? Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife. Neo Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl. I don't remember what happened. I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently I passed out. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms. Poor Emma. Went through so much. I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good. 2 years ago. You must have been 14. That's understandable. You guys are making okonomiyakis? That sounds fire. Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies, and find evidence to make it an airtight case. That way Lana would never have to forge any. I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. There's still something that bothers me about that crime. Something that's puzzling me, Emma. What is it? You said you were in Lana's office at the time, right? That's right. Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor? Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day. Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police? Of course. This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office. But why did he run all the way over to your sister's office? Because the detective's office and the questioning room are right across from the elevator. Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she? No, silly, didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. She was the best in the entire force. What? That's news to me. After the Joe Dark case, he was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor. Lana used to be a detective? I'd better have another talk with her. And that means the detention center. Beep, 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 beep. Oh shit. Hold on, my phone, the little sticky stuff that connects my phone is starting to wear off, and so my phone just kind of keeps slipping off its little case. Hello, Lana. Lana? Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble. Falsifying evidence? I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul, why should we? But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Believe me, I understand the risks. Lana, Emma told me about you. Oh? About how you were a detective 2 years ago, and how the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office. That's right. Could you fill me in on the details, especially about that unusual change of jobs? I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright. Alright. A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today. Not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago. Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. That trial really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. I believed that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth. It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. All drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15 there was no murder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lana. What the witness, Miss Starr, said about you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife? Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us? Emma, this doesn't involve just me. It doesn't. I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so fazed before. What the? No. It's true. I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing. Oh shit, I forgot Gant's voice. Oh man, picking up on voices is gonna be so weird. Oh well. We adapt, we overcome. We improvise, adapt, overcome. That's the one. They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together. Chief Gant? He was the deputy chief of the police back then. But he still worked at the crime scenes. Damon Gant. He was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed. You think deep and kind of raspy? I remember I kind of just gave him like a raspy older man voice. Because he doesn't talk like scary, or at least not often. The goblin voice. No. Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened? I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience in investigating crime scenes so you could use the experience in court, right? Okay, hold on, wait. Can I make the... Okay, no. I was wondering if I could make the text faster. Gant's help in the SL9 case was crucial to its resolution. After that, he became chief of the police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. Uncle Ruckus. Okay, hold on. I gotta picture the Uncle Ruckus theme with the weird tubas. Well, look at this jigaboo here. That sounds so silly. I don't think it'll work for Gant. Maybe I should ask more about the investigation of theirs 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark. Second in command? That means the investigation lead was Damon Gant, right? Yes, Deputy Chief Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations. We even had the same office. We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when his final murder took place, and he tried to murder Emma. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Now you tell us? Damon Gant and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So he waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down, then fled the room. From there he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Chief Gant and myself. That's where he found me. So you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana. It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. 3 bodies? Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who had passed out, and the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious. What did you do? To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her. Can't blame her after all. Her sister must have gone through. I can't blame her after all her sister's gone through. After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident? That's right. Quite a coincidence, I don't buy it. What are you saying? There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident. Just by chance. But that case was solved 2 years ago. At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved. I miss Jake Marshall. I love doing his country voice. Talking about bambinas and drinking at the watering hole and all that. It was such a fun character to voice. Officer Marshall, yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely. Guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories. That case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right? Yes, in the office that Damon, Gant, and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself, the Chief's office. Maybe we should have a look at the Chief's office, the site of the final SL9 murder. Okie dokie. We move. I think it's here. February 24th, Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department. I don't see Detective Gumshoe anywhere. Things seem kind of quiet around here today. You're right, the Chief of Detectives seems the same though. Why don't we go look for some other people to talk to? Right. We can come back here later. I guess. The front door? Anybody at the front door of the police department? Oh, I forgot. We've got to say our final goodbyes. He's gonna ride off into the sunset. Oh, man. Howdy, Bambina. Oh, Mr. Marshall. I never thought things would turn out this way when I woke up this morning. Que sera, Sarah. You never know where life will lead you, eh, Bambina? I should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning. Billy? Must be his pet cactus. Say, where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner. Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why do prospectors head west? If ever there was a case I needed to know the truth about, it was this one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either, all the detectives thought so. What do you mean fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. A murder weapon? You mean the switchblade knife with a broken tip? That was Joe Dark's, alright. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised. A question? The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained. What does that mean? It means there is a good chance the knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been erased. The facts have been concealed with forged evidence? That case left behind scars on all of us. Scars that the SL9 incident left behind. I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I had just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together. How old was he? Your brother? He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day. The highest honor? You mean the King of the Prosecutors? I knew it. What are you looking at me like that for? That's an honor for a prosecutor. Mr. Marshall must have been really close with his brother. The day the SL9 incident took place, that wasn't the same day as... That's right. It was the day of the evidence transferal. Interesting. It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years have gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty. There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation save one was taken care of. Miss Starr was fired, and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? They did something to him too. The commissioners would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough to not be too obvious. They? What are you talking about? Don't get all upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Investigation lead Damon Gant and his second-in-command, Lana Skye. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. That case was the biggest step in both their careers. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office. Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Skye was totally different when she was a detective. Now that he mentions it, Emma said something like that too. Tell me, what happened to my sister? Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out. On a secret? It all started 2 years ago. No, he's going to leave. So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? It was certainly enlightening. There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get the guilty verdict. Someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Too bad. I won't be around to work with you. And you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina. He's gone. Oh, man. That was my favorite character to voice. Okay, there we go. Man, I'm gonna miss Marshall. This place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted. That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes. Oh, okay, here we go. This is Gant. Shit, how did he go again? Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room. Thanks. Wow, he actually... Oh, wait, no, that's not Gant. That's the guy in the back. Okay, I guess that voice also still kind of works. He looks old. With the chief prosecutor saying what she did and the decision about what to do, about Mr. Edgeworth not to mention our statement to the media in tomorrow's trial, there's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is the word usually used for those. Sir, we'd like to have a look around the Chief Gant's office. Just use the connecting hallway into the other building and take the elevator to the top floor. Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything. Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. It's off limits. Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office. Wow. Oh, okay, yeah, we're back here. We have to sneak back in later. Oh, wait, no, isn't he here? I forget. It's such a good theme. It's so dramatic, but it's good. Whoa, where am I? In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door. So catchy. Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it? Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bach. I thought I was a genius until they tried teaching me notes. Jesus. I never could remember where C was. Oh, here he is. Hold on, I need to figure this. Oh, it's you two. Chief Gant. He put that paper he was reading in his desk. So, Rido, how have you been swimming lately? No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately. I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full too with Mr. Marshall's misconduct and Lana's provocative statement. Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? 2 years ago have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See that big picture on the wall over there? That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me. So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. I remember, too, the first time I saw this, I recognized that ugly vase on the wall. We took it to commemorate our work together. Something's not right with this picture. I can't quite seem to put my finger on it, though. Gant team picture added to the court record. Boom, boom, boom. Uh-oh. Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go out together. Oh, at this office. It was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it? That case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore. All the same, we'd still like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend. Alright. Looks like we aren't welcome. Seems that case isn't over yet. What do you mean? Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he didn't want us looking around in there. You mean like a clue? There's gotta be a way we can get inside the chief's office. Where's our good buddy old pal Gumshoe? I have to change his voice. After seeing the anime and hearing him, I had to change it. Okay, hold on. With the cops. Hey, pal. Detective Gumshoe. Aren't you supposed to be in a meeting? I'm, just taking a breather. My feet hurt. From sitting so long? Actually, I'm serving everyone coffee. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop. Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask? He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battle between you two in court. That sounds serious. Is it because of what my sister said? That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood. Yikes. Alright, well... Why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Skye is the guilty party here, isn't she? Regardless, the prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there have been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor kept him safe from those who didn't like him. But now with this, are there really so many people who hate him? In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know for making enemies. Hey, Dick, keep up the good work. Yes, sir. Let's head out for lunch again. Sometime, my treat. Yes, sir. You gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick? Yes, sir. Seems you don't have any problems with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. Actually, I took a look at the file area while the coffee was brewing. He was genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Well, did you find out anything? The only evidence Doc left behind was during his final attack. His final attack? You mean when he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl? Me. Seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl. That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all. Well, what was it? Oh, let's see. I think it had something to do with a murder weapon. Oh, I forgot. Look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay? Powers of recollection never fail to impress. Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. It might jog his memory. Okay, hold on. It'll be... God, I've got so much fucking evidence with me. About this. Hey, is that... It has a tag attached to it with the label SL9 incident on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of. What were you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker. On that day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the locker and was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler. That's it! Now I remember what the incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me. Well, what is it, Detective? Quick, before you forget again. Okay, we've got more things to talk about. Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just your run-of-the-mill businessman. A businessman? What made him take to serial killing? One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car. With his car? So it was an accident. An accident, yes, but it transformed him into an animal. Animal? He killed a man that witnessed the accident, then he killed a lady who saw the second crime. A kid walked by just then, so he killed him too. Then, when he was... oh shit, a jogger came up on the scene and he killed him as well. Finally, he turned himself in. It seemed he was a pretty careless animal. Oh, of course, this is all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence. So he turned himself in. Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim. Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Joe Dark was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed. That last witness, aka Emma. This knife, it was Joe Dark's, wasn't it? That's right. We traced it back to the store he bought it at. Plus, it had his fingerprints on it too. No one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right? That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken. You don't have to take a good look to notice that. Yeah, well, anyway, take a guess where the broken off tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in. Where was it? The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. It was found deep inside the stab wound. Did it match Dark's knife? You bet, down to the last fiber. That's pretty conclusive. Neil's autopsy report added to the court record. Stabbed in the back, died from a punctured heart and lung. A knife tip was in the wound. Broken tip was found in the victim's body belonging to the murderer, Joe Dark. Well, there you have it. There you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know. Can I ask you for one more thing? What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gant. It's not money, but it does concern the chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where the prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. Chief's out now, and his office is locked. But we'd like to have a look around if that's okay. Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door. What? Really? But if I let a civilian in there, I'll be charged with breach of trust. Breach of trust? Simply put, I'd be canned. Oh. Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you. How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman's. That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died. Oh. So in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into that office. I wonder if there's something we could show him that would make him change his mind. Yes, so I remember this. We need to move. Get me out of here. Alright, so we go here. I think Angel had a few words that she wanted to say as well. No one's here today. Not even Miss Starr. Everyone's probably busy looking into what exactly went down in the evidence room. That must be where the detectives are. We proved in court today that on the day of the murder, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15. Yeah, I thought we were finally making some headway in our case. Instead, it looks like we just ended up making Lana look even more guilty. Hang in there, Lana. Gotta find all the answers by tomorrow. Oh wait, shit, is tomorrow the last day? I wonder if Edgeworth is back yet. There he is, it looks like he's writing something. What are you doing here? He sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Tough day in court, huh? I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. It's another allegation to me. Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you. That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings. So what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. Well, I'd like to examine that piece of paper that you just threw on the ground. I wonder what he was writing before. Come on, Mr. Wright, let's take a look. Are you crazy? Edward is sitting right there. Just distract him. I'll check it out. Hey, Edgeworth. Is that Detective Gumshoe out the window there? Oh no, he's falling to the ground. Hold on. First let me see what the girl is doing crawling around my feet. Didn't even look. What? Letter of... You're having trouble reading. I'll read it for you. It says letter of resignation. Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean... Tired, right? I feel as if something inside me has died. Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault. I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either. Uh-oh. I think he's serious. Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something. It's a letter of resignation. I wonder if I can really use it for anything. Yeah, there is something I can use it for. Still, though, let's converse some, eh? There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I do can erase that fact. You didn't know, did you? I mean, that the evidence was falsified? The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. That bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error, and my responsibility as the prosecutor in charge. That fact remains the same no matter what excuses I might have. Mr. Edgeworth, I take pride in my work. So tell me why. Why has it come to this? Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First, last year's trial, and now this one. Seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. But Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial. Tomorrow is the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my superiors are banking on. Never thought that the case would come back to haunt me like this. What do you mean? List of evidence, it seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. It's only half as long as most lists? That is odd. After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been a part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing I had on my mind at the time. Say, we just saw a picture taken around that time. That picture, something seems strange about it. Could you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered? You were participating in a ceremony over at the station, right? I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one. Because you were awarded this? Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up on the office that morning, then drove to the police department. You finished up at the office? Yes, just odds and ends, clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is until I was asked to take something back. Take something back? This. Oh yeah, Chief Gant asked you to hold on to that, didn't he? Yes, it was a piece of evidence in a case that was closing half a year ago. He asked me to bring it to the prosecutor's office. That's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to? That's right. Don't I also have one of those? Forget what bits and pieces of evidence. Come now, right? You can't just sit down and chat with you. Oh. But this isn't related to the case, remember? You said it yourself. So I did. Chief Gant gave this to you that day, didn't he? Asked you to bring it back to the police department. Chief is a very competent man, but something he does. Sometimes he does things that just don't make any sense. At least it's better than being incompetent and doing things that don't make sense. A certain detective comes to mind. Okay. Alright, we move. Oh shit, is Angel here? Excuse me. Hello, Angel. Would either of you care for a quarter pound of roast beef? God, that sounds amazing. God, I wish you could actually send me that through the screen. All I have with me right now is a Pop-Tart. Miss Star, I guess she's out of lunches. You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kinda like The first person who sucked a cow's... Huh. Kind of like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk. Still, I never thought you'd go digging up the case from 2 years ago. Everyone in the trial was involved in the SL9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence from the case was due for transferal. This can't be attributed to a mere coincidence. Aren't you forgetting something? You know that little scene I happened to witness? The instant Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten. The star's hatred toward Lana all dates back 2 years ago. Joe Dark. That's the name I'll not soon forget. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure. Still, I don't think I was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. Poor old Jake Marshall, though, must have been going through hell. You mean because of his brother's death? They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate. Her? Lana Skye. My sister. The best were put on the SL9 incident. Of course, they were led by that legendary duo. Lana and Chief Gant. That legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up in our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out. You mean with the forging of the evidence? Don't get me wrong, Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in the court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear while other items were kept secret. But you don't have proof anything illegal was done. I'm proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties, most without even so much as an explanation. Then Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor. Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor. Nothing's quite as simple as it appears. Huh? Lana Skye was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter. She was being used? Damon, Gant, and Lana Skye. Gant led the investigation with Lana second in command. They were the best. They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they? Damon Gant's magnetism in particular was almost unreal. His magnetism? By that I mean his ability to attract evidence. He'd produced the most incredible evidence in the cases he handled. Incredible evidence? You mean... Oh yes, there were rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him though. I take it she's talking about forged evidence. Back then everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be just like her. Really? Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated anything crooked and always watched out for other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake. Mr. Marshall. When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would have ever recovered from his shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating. The star. That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why does she have to turn so cold after that? Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she? Yes, thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence. Chief? That's right. Having solved the SL9 case, his position as chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control, and then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office. What? You mean that's why Lana was transferred? If he could control the chief prosecutor, he controlled the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along. But how could he control Lana? I don't know, but one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude. There must have been a reason for her to change. At last. Finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Miss Star. You listen to me, rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been. Thank you very much. Hold on. Just because I'm somewhat paranoid, we're gonna hit a save real quick. So that way, if things do happen to start going awry, that I can come back to something that I haven't already done. Alright, we move. Alright, Detective Gumshoe. Eh? He's not here. Oh, nothing here. Stand in the back, dying. Oh. Okay, nope. Nope. Okay. That's not. Not at the Criminal Affairs Department. Not the detention center. I take it there's probably a bit more that we could talk to. You know, it wouldn't hurt if you put that up somewhere on the show. And nope. Yeah, okay, so maybe the trophy Mr. Marshall's holding is a little different than yours. Yes, you're right. I remember now. Remember what? That was the official prosecutor's trophy looked like 2 years ago. There was a story behind its design. Story? Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling me? It's simple, really. Contradiction. Aha, yes, two characters. The first being Halberd and the second meaning shield. Have you ever heard of this story? Me? Oh, sure, everyone knows. Why don't you tell it, though, for Emma's sake? Very well. Long ago in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day he presented the king with two items. The first was a halberd he claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield that claimed he could withstand any weapon. Wait a minute. Those claims contradict each other. Very perceptive. But then again, you've heard this story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very description of these items discredited them both. When the king pointed this out to the merchant, it was left speechless, and thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born. Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and the broken knife symbolize... Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. An ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words. But it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion, even if it results in something as ugly as this. Wow, thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today. That's funny. If that's so, then why were you only given a shield? You'll have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago, he had the halberd part of the award abolished. Chief Gant. Okay. Anything else? Oh, whoops. I'm gonna head on back and see if our good pal Gumshoe... Oh, whoops. Sticking it out over at the Criminal Affairs Department. Yes! Okay, so that was an important piece of evidence I needed to maintain. Oh, you're back! It's the cops. You're still here? I gotta make 150 copies of these files. Brewing coffee, copying files. I'm turning into a regular DJ. You're a DJ as well? If I'm not mistaken, I think he means desk jockey. Oh, that DJ. I gotta admire your persistency, but my answer's still no. I'm not letting you in the chief's office, period. It'll be my neck on the line. That office is the last crime scene in the SL9 incident. I have to take a look in there. There's gotta be something we can do to make a detective change his mind. Yes, there is. Anything else you can tell us about? No. Alright, have a look at this. I present to you this. Crumpled piece of paper. What's this crumpled up piece of paper? No way! Mr. Edgeworth can't be serious. Is he ever not serious? I can't believe they pushed him this far. Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible. When I first met him, I thought he was cold as ice too. But I know different now. He trusted us detectives to provide him with sound evidence. But we betrayed him. Detective. That's it. I've made up my mind. But, here, take my ID card. You can't do that. If someone found out, they wouldn't let you off the hook with another lost item report. Look at me. It's no secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be as good as terminated. What? So at least let me do this, for Mr. Edgeworth's sake. Alright, Detective. Thank you. Gumshoe's ID tucks swiftly into pocket. What if I present it to him now that I've got it? Let me share a little advice with you as a detective. If you don't have a clue, keep your trap shut. I'll keep that in mind. Sheesh. Back to the chief's office. Here goes, Mr. Wright. Beep. Bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. We're in. If anyone finds us now, Detective Gumshoe's a goner. If that happens, I'm counting on you to bail me out. Yeah! Grog! Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. I didn't even know you could slap a ghost. Ah, Detective Gumshoe! What are you doing sneaking up on us like that? I wasn't sneaking. I was just worried something might go wrong. So I came too. You're here, then what's the point of giving us your ID card? Crushed and rendered unusable. Oh my god. Hey, don't do that to my card. I hardly ever get a chance to come in here. So I figured I'd have a look around myself. Besides, we're all in this together now. You really do want to get fired, don't you? Not if we're lucky. Come on. Let's see what we can find out. Got a bad feeling about this. That desk on the other side of the room, was that your sister's? Yes, that's where I was waiting for Lana on the day 2 years ago. Anyone using it now? No, sir. This is entirely Chief Gant's office now. He practices a strict policy of preserving the crime scene. That's a strange reason to leave it there. He leaves it as a warning to everyone else. He wants us to always be alert. He told us so himself at our New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time. I see. Ever since Lana left, no one ever touches that desk. No one except Chief Gant and the cleaning lady who's in here each morning. Still 2 years have passed since that incident. There can't possibly be any clues remaining. Can I ask you something? Sure. You only came here to look around, right? Because it's one of the SL9 crime scenes? I mean, that's your only reason for coming here, isn't it? Why do you ask? You don't think... Nah, you wouldn't be... No. No, there's no way. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Okay, now then, let's look around a bit more. Hey, hold on. Not so fast, buddy. Huh? What is it? When someone tells you don't worry about it, it's supposed to stop bothering you, pal. You don't just let it go at that. Sorry, this guy's starting to get on my nerves. Okay, so what's bothering you? You don't think Chief Gant might be a suspect, do you? What? He's right, Mr. Wright. Do we think of him? Or what do we think of him? Chief Gant. Let's finally come to this. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best I don't divulge any my feelings yet. There you go, ignoring me again. Okay, we examine. I remember the 2 points of interest were the desk and this. But we'll observe around some more. Look at that giant window. It makes you want to crash through it and jump outside. This is the 15th floor. I know, I was just saying. Saying what? Ever since making a detective, I always dreamed about doing something like that. Note to self, Detective Gumshoe has a lot of dreams. So long as he doesn't go crashing through that window, and he gets fired. Don't say that. These shelves were mostly empty. Lana must have cleaned them out when she transferred over to the prosecutor's office. There's a small picture frame on the left shelf. Hey, this is when Lana and I went to that theme park. Oh. The Smogement. This was Lana's desk. It sure is tidy. Lana's always been a meticulous cleaner. Not even any dust on that. Looks like someone's still keeping it clean. Does Lana ever come back here? Nope. Chief Gant must still keep it clean in memory of a partnership. They were the stuff legends are made of. Does he keep it in memory of her, or is it in memory of the crime? This picture with the ugly vase. This was taken on that day 2 years ago. The day Joe Dark ran out of the questioning room and tried to kill Emma. After receiving this award trophy, Mr. Marshall took a picture here. Oh yeah, that was Gumshoe. Then went along with Chief Gant to question Dark. I bet he never knew he'd be dead just a few hours later. You think? The organ. The Chief's organ sure is a sight to behold. Occasionally we hear him playing it off in the Crime Affairs Department. That's on the 2nd floor, and this is the 15th floor of an entirely different building. Rock and Stone. Welcome back. When the detective screws up, the chief calls him to his office and makes them listen to the organ for hours. What's so bad about that? Music soothes the soul. After that, the detectives can't hear anything for days except for the ringing in their ears. So it's an instrument of punishment, literally. But aren't the chief's ears affected? He never listens to anyone anyways. That's beside the point. Oh, whoops, hold on, it's a slide. Slide to the left. And there's the gold armor and the window, I think, and then we can get to the actual meat and potatoes. Oh, whoops. Sure is, pal. The chief doesn't care about limitations. First the pipe organ, now this armor. You know how many taxpayer dollars must have gone into this room? What? You mean we're paying for this? That's it. I'm not paying 1 cent of my taxes. You don't have any taxes to pay. Shh, be careful what you say. Who knows, the chief may be hiding in the armor as we speak. I don't think he'd fit in there. Even if he did, he'd never be able to get back out. Cut it out, you guys don't know how scary that guy can be. You can see pretty far from 15 stories up. If you were to drop that suit of armor from here. At first the chief wanted to use stained glass for the window. Really? Why didn't he? They say he changed his mind because he wouldn't be able to see the view. Oh. Stained glass or not, it's a huge window. Now we can get to the meat and potatoes of some of this evidence. Wow, look at the size of the Chief Gant's desk. Speaking of that, when we were here earlier... Oh, it's you two. Chief Gant. That paper he was reading in his desk. I wonder what he was reading. This looks like a list of evidence. A list of evidence? In most cases, the list runs twice as long as this, though. Hey, look at the case name. Huh? SL9 case, or SL9 incident. I wonder what this is doing in here. Hold on, detective. What did you just say? I said, I wonder what... No, about the evidence list. Normally there's twice as long? That's right. I guess there wasn't a lot of evidence. Half-size list of evidence? The list of evidence seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. What would the other half of the list be doing here? I knew it. The chief must be hiding something about that case. It would appear so. Evidence list added to the court record. List of evidence in the SL9 incident was ripped in half, so this part is all I've got. Anything else about the desk? What would this list be doing here? We better look into it some more. This one. This was the one I remembered. Safe? That word is ripe with intrigue. Okay, if you say so. It looks like a code needs to be entered from this panel to open it. Leave it to me. 7-digit number, I think I might just know what it is. You know what it is? I have a hunch. Oh, I know. You want to try my birthday. It's... I have a better idea. Here goes nothing. Boop, 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 boop. It's just 7. His code is literally just 7. Bingo. Reminds me of the scene from I forget which movie it is. It's the Naked Gun series. It's the guy. He opens up the desk and he looks inside and he goes, bingo. And he opens and he picks out quite literally just a bingo like card. What number did you enter? Whose birthday was it, pal? 7777777. The final ID card number on that record. What? The number of the mysterious executive officer who entered the room that day? You mean 7777777? That ID number? I think you're 1 7 shy this time. This can only mean one thing. That's Chief Gant's ID number. Say, anyone care to look inside? Dokie. Wait, not move. I need to examine. What do we got in here? What spicy piece of evidence is here? Is there any money in there? How much does he have stashed away? Look, it's a shard from a broken cup. That somehow looks familiar. Where have I seen this before? There's something else in there too. What's this? It looks like a piece of leather cloth. This is a handprint, isn't it? Hey, I saw someone wearing a shirt like that once. You think the chief made up the design? I don't think so. Oh, well, it was just a thought. Is that it? This is what was all in the safe? Apparently so, it's empty now. A piece of cloth with a handprint on it, and a broken shard from a cup. They look like pieces of evidence. Yeah, but unless you can prove they have something to do with this case, I'm afraid I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line here. Great, now I have to prove their relevancy to get them. How are these two items related to the SL9 incident? Come on, there's gotta be something we can show the detective. Okay, well, gumshoes. Here. Detective Gumshoe, could I have another look at the jar? I remember when the three of us put that thing back together. Ah, those were the days. It's kind of early to be nostalgic. Wasn't this jar a piece of evidence from that case? That's right, one of the shards from the SL9 incident sticker on it. Doesn't this ring any bells? You know, the fragment we just found? You mean this one that was in the safe? Yes, that one. That was in the safe. Now that you mention it, it's ringing a lot of bells. Let's see if it fits. Here, let me see that shard. I'll crack. Oh, whoops. Go ahead, pal. Show us what the rookie can do. Mr. Wright, here's some glue. We can piece this together again. We'll prove Chief Gant was knowingly hiding evidence. Here goes. What is it? Oh. There we go. The ugly vase. There, fits like a charm. That, of course, means Chief Gant willingly and knowingly hid a piece of this jar in his safe. In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the SL9 incident. But, hey, guys, get a load of this. What is it? This piece you just attached, it's different from the others. There's a reddish line on it. A reddish line? That's blood. I don't get it. Why would Chief Gant hide this in his safe? Stable jar updated to the court record. Can we... That raises another question. What was the piece of it doing in the chief's safe? More importantly, why wasn't there any money in there? Isn't that what saves are for anyways? I have a feeling the outcome of tomorrow's trial might just hinge on this. Alright, now where is the leather? Huh? I'm missing something? Where's the leather piece? Can I use a fingerprint set? Ah, hey, I know what that is. So you want to take some fingerprints. That's a great idea, detective. Alright, go to town. Sheesh. What are you doing? Why aren't you sticking out your... Wait, what are you doing? Why are you sticking out your hand like that? Go ahead, take my fingerprints. It's not your fingerprints we want to take. Huh? Come on, this isn't time for jokes. We're talking about that cloth we found in the safe. Oh! I knew that. The one with a handprint on it, right? Jeez, where's your sense of humor? Okay, Mr. Wright, let's check for prints. Sprinkle the powder on the cloth. Then, once they've been absorbed into the print, blow the rest away. What are you, my mom? I don't have to be told 1,000,000 times. Alright, let's get this over with. There we go. It doesn't look like we've got a lot of prints here. Do another finger. The middle finger. I'm missing a little bit of it still. No. On the bottom, further over here. What? Is it a bit on the inner side? There we go. It's Emma's. Beep, 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 beep. Comparison complete. We found a match. No. How can this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing here? Hey, did you find a match? Whose fingerprints were they? Huh? Oh, it seems the prints are too old. They aren't clear enough to get a match. Oh, that's too bad. I thought they'd be Dark's prints. Psst. Hey, you, over here. What's going on here? What are the kids' prints doing inside the chief's safe? Don't ask me. Let's just get this information from Emma for now. Here, maybe you should hold on to this. Piece of cloth folded and added to the court record. Well, was I any help? Of course. Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence. Now that's not very kind, is it? In other words, if it wasn't for his ID card, he would have been useless. Isn't that right? You in the coat. Ooh, it's Chief Gant. You didn't think you'd be back so soon. Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in signs. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look out a window and saw a stray dog run right into a pole. Just then I thought of a certain detective. Do you mean me, sir? Now then, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to ask you all to leave. Yes, sir. Sorry. Oh, you in the coat. Me, sir? Drop off your ID on the way out. You won't be needing it anymore. But sir... Now get out. Yes, sir. We'll be on our way too, then. Wait, you, the one with the spiky hair. Oh, don't go yet. Me, sir? I'd like a word with you. But sir, I'm not a licensed scientific investigator yet. You with the spiky hair, you're free to go. Mr. Wright. Look, pal, I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. The chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go and sneaking in there like that, didn't you? I thought you said you didn't care anymore if you were fired. Yeah, but if I knew I'd be like this, I never would have said it. Now that I've seen the evidence Chief Gant was hiding in his office, I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. But why has she kept eerily silent about it all this time? Anyway, you listening to me? I'm gonna try to smooth things over with the chief again. Later, pal. After that, I heard from Emma. She said the police wanted to ask her some questions, so she'll be busy for the rest of the day. Here we go. I think this is where we left off last time. Drop a hard save on here too. I see, so the chief asked Emma to come in for questioning. It's no use thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day in court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here. But I've already told you all I can. What you've told me over these past couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing. Really? I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman. You know, I think I finally figured it out. I know who it is that's lurking behind your words. He did a good job of mentoring you. I'm rather jealous. It seems Edgeworth was right. Edgeworth? Once you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term he used, I believe. Now's my chance to get her to tell me the rest of the story. I have to admit, I was more than a little perplexed at first. You insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth, it's that you're incapable of doing so because of a certain individual. What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say? Do you think I'm protecting this person? Protecting? No, I think afraid of is more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence. For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, whom, may I ask, is this person you're speaking of? The one I am supposedly so frightened of. It's Meekins. Take that! Well, Miss Sky? Mr. Wright, You are addressing the chief prosecutor. Do not forget your place. I take it she's still not ready to spill the beans. My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about what you think you know? We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective. Assuming he's respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes? His crimes? Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry. For what you did, specifically hiding and forging evidence. Of course, these are serious offenses. Why is it, though, that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned? Chief Gant? Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was me. I had access because I was second in command of the investigation. Yes, you, but also one other, Damon Gant. If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gant falsified evidence in the case. Okay, I can look at the ugly vase. Wait, what? Oh, there's the ugly vase. I just found this in a safe in the chief's office. This jar piece and this piece of cloth. Do you know what these are? They're pieces of evidence from the SL9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him? Touché, Mr. Wright. It's as you surmised. I cannot disobey the chief's orders, even if it means being found guilty for murder. Why not? Come now, Mr. Wright, you can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate. In the murder of Detective Goodman. Perhaps I should say follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside of the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car. Just as I suspected. Despite what everyone believes, you were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman. Correct. I was trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. The trunk's lock was broken, and I discovered that murder weapon while inspecting the body. Murder weapon? You mean Edgeworth's knife? No. When I found the body, this was the knife stuck in it. Knife from the SL9 incident? Serial killer Joe Dark's knife? Couldn't just leave that knife in him. So I took it out and stabbed him with another knife. That would be Edgeworth's knife. That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand. And that is the reason for the bandage on your right hand. Yes, it seems that I got blood on the victim's shoes as well. Then, she saw me just as I plunged the knife in. Miss Starr, huh? Why did you need to hide Dark's knife so badly? It took a lot of work to finally close the Dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want it to be opened again. My intent was to prevent that, whatever means possible. So you hid Dark's knife? The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Dark's case? Word got out, which it would. The reporters would have a field day with that. So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it. In Edgeworth's exhaust pipe. Right, and then I called my sister. To tell her what happened and to ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler. You asked Emma? I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this. That would explain why Emma was so confident about Lana's innocence. Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day. Bad feeling? Truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call. Phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall. The music! It's him! My favorite character from this whole experience. The Marshal? Why on earth would you call him? The lead investigator for the SL9 incident had been murdered. I wanted the fact to be kept hidden, and I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust. At least I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seemed that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own. Oh, you mean... Not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands. He disguised himself as Detective Goodman and tried to steal the evidence. He had already stolen the ID card, but it seems he still hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared. Your phone call caused the incidents in the evidence room? I'm afraid that's all I can tell you. But Lana... You've earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and an investigator. Now please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow. Tomorrow's trial. There's only one way to drive off Lana's demons. I've got to get to the bottom of everything. Detective Goodman's real murderer. What went down in the chief's office 2 years ago? To be continued. Please save the progress. Oh shit. Rise from the ashes. Final day. Trial. Former. Oh boy. February 25th, 9:47 a.m. District Court. Defendant Lobby number 2. This is the defendant lobby, alright, but there's no defendant. I'm trying to reach Lana all morning. Where could she be? Where's Emma, for all that matter? It almost seems as if... something's been happening behind the scenes. Oh, it's Edgeworth. Edgeworth? Knowing you, you've already figured it out. Who the owner of the 7777777 ID number is, that is? Well, I have a pretty strong hunch. Looks like I'm not the only one who's figured it out. You know, the only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday is because there was still room for doubt regarding this ID record. If that number does belong to whom you suspect, then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything. True, not yet. In any event, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling. 5 minutes, right, and Chief Prosecutor Skye will be found guilty. She didn't do it! I figured you'd say as much. That's why I came here, to hear what you have to say. This is the first time he's ever done something like this. Lana's hiding something. There's only one way we'll ever know the truth. It's to draw it out of her. The truth? Everything goes back to the SL9 incident. Don't be stupid. Today's the last day of the trial. We don't have time to reminisce about the past. That depends on you. If she's found guilty, you'll lose your only chance to find out what really happened. I'll think about it. See you in court, right? This is it. If I'm ever going to find out what Chief Gant has on her, it's now. Oh boy. Oh shit, I gotta... Right, we're in court now. I've gotta go through a whole list of voices again.
Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye.
The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
Normally this is when the prosecution puts forth its opening statement. But before that, the police chief has a proposal to make.
Chief Gant? Morning, folks. How's everyone doing? Hey, OG, been back to the pool yet? No, I've been drowning enough as it is in my own work. Oh, that's a good one. Don't think I can top that. You don't mind me asking, Chief, exactly what is this proposal of yours? I was doing the quiet stare thing. Lana, that is to say the defendant, has asked me if she could speak directly to the court. She wants to do what? Having heard what she intends to say, I feel she should be granted her request.
In the end, it should save everyone a lot of time and trouble.
What's this all about, defendant? I'd just like to make one simple request, and I'll be finished.
Well then, what's your request?
Your Honor, I'd like you to put an immediate end to this trial. Huh? I confess to all charges against me. On February 21st of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman in the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. No, Lana! Objection! You can't! Your Honor, the defendant's claim does not change the defense's plea. In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your services. But Lana, Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. The prosecution may lack direct evidence against me, but it has sufficiently proven its case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. I would like you to render your verdict now, if you would please.
Well, the defendant certainly has the right to self-representation. The request is legally valid, although this is an unprecedented situation. Indeed, it appears there's no further need to continue this trial, even if Mr. Wright may feel otherwise.
This can't be happening.
It appears the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds a defendant.
Emma, please. Oh, whoa, Edgeworth.
One moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth?
The prosecution has not yet proven the defendant guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Any ruling at this stage would certainly be premature.
Come now, Worthy. I understand this is a difficult time for you, but why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut,
Uh-oh. What have we here? I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Gant.
What?
Creating another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes. Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you would have me be. With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes.
Some kind of deal, Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy.
I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness.
Oh, to whom?
As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Skye. I request the court hears her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, I am exercising my right to self-representation. I don't think we need to continue. I don't care what you think, Miss Skye. The exposure of truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it. Ooh, damn, that was a pretty fire line. Good one you, Edgeworth.
Very well, the court shall grant the prosecution's request. That's okay with you, right, Chief Gant?
Worthy, you'll live to regret this. Mark my words. Miss Emma Skye, please take to the stand. It's like Edgeworth has decided to take the horse by the reins. Cheap! Brayden, why does your hamster keep crawling into a pancake? Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. My name is Emma Skye. My occupation? I'm Lana's little sister, and I want to be a scientific investigator. 2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer Joe Dark of the Joe Dark killings. Is this correct? Yes. I'm trying my hardest to forget about that, though. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to recall those evidence one more time.
Mr. Edgeworth, please remember, the trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. An incident that was resolved 2 years ago, really all that relevant?
Yes, it most certainly is.
Well, okay then.
He sure gave in fast. Now, please testify about what happened to you 2 years ago. The trip to yesteryear has finally begun. Bound to lead to the truth behind this trial. Brayden, where's Xander? I'm gonna need some help. Maybe. I trust his intuition a little bit better than mine since he actually knows about this stuff. I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me, but I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. Oh, that's wrong. Okay, hold on, wait. I can guarantee. Oh, he's EP? Okay. Good thing you weren't harmed. I passed out. I don't remember much.
That's understandable. However, please tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, what does his testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's murder?
That will soon become apparent, Your Honor. You've got to admire him for his courage, considering he has no evidence.
Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination.
I'm gonna badger on about some of this more information, but I think I already know what's wrong. 2 years ago, the defendant was a detective at the police department, correct? Yes, she was second in command under the deputy chief of police Gant. My sister. She was the best detective ever.
Yes, I remember. Deputy Chief Gant and Miss Sky used to be quite the pair.
I believe they shared the same office. That's right. I'd always sit at my sister's desk. Oh, okay. And dream about playing that organ. I wanted to play it that day, too.
The police department and the prosecutor's office held a ceremony that day.
Lana promised to take me to dinner after she finished her work. A man? Yes, Joe Dark. He was a serial killer.
Joe Dark was brought in for questioning on that day of the ceremony. We were desperate to get anything on him and would lead to his arrest. When he saw his chance, he fled the room, right? Upon fleeing the room, Dark proceeded to take the elevator. He must have been in a panic because the elevator was going up. Then he ran into Sky in Gant's office.
There was a lot of noise coming from outside, so I opened the door to have a look. That's when I saw him. Or when I saw him. What was the prosecutor doing there?
That day, there were 2 people present during Dark's questioning. Deputy Chief Damon Gant and Prosecutor Neil Marshall.
I almost forgot about Gant.
Neil Marshall had just received the King of Prosecutors Award. Young and dedicated, he went straight into the questioning room after the ceremony.
See, there's something weird that I noticed about this picture earlier. I don't know its relevancy, and honestly, I might just be wrong about it, but the spear being held by the... No, I think I'm overlooking things. The spear being held by the gold statue, I thought had some sort of relevancy to it because it also does kind of look like a knife that could have been chipped or whatever. And the same thing with the sword that's on the King of Prosecutors Award. Trying to figure it out. I feel like there's something more to the murder weapon and or the knife and why Gant took it off.
I assume that would also be why he was the first to run after Dark.
When Dark grabbed me, I thought I was as good as dead. And that's when Prosecutor Marshall came running in. I don't clearly remember what happened then, but... Alright. Can you tell us about that? Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark just then. The lights went out.
Lights?
It was just about this time of the year. There was a terrible storm going through and lightning struck nearby. Electricity went out.
Wait a minute. It was in a pitch dark. If it was pitch dark in that room, you shouldn't have been able to see anything, right?
Right, but just then lightning flashed again outside. Then sudden flash left an unforgettable image of the scene in my mind.
I see.
I told the detective about what I saw then.
The detective?
Yes, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case. With Bruce Goodman, the victim. So you spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago? Yes, that's what's so scary about this trial. You told Detective Goodman about what you saw? Yes, but at the time the words just wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture. Picture, yes, I think she mentioned that before.
Well, Mr. Wright, have you heard enough?
Ask about the picture. This picture the witness drew. I believe it has a very important meaning. What? But the list of evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture.
Witness, would you mind if we added this statement to your testimony?
Yes, Your Honor. It seems to have been lost. How? Or why? You drew a picture of the scene you witnessed, right? Yes, I wanted to do everything I could to help the investigation. I can still see it now, whenever I close my eyes.
It's strange. I took over the case after Prosecutor Marshall died.
Yet I never received any picture. Perhaps the witness is mistaken? But I did draw it, I swear, I'm not just imagining it. It's a picture that Emma drew, that reminds me. Guess I should check the evidence again. seen that imprinted an image in your mind. Could you please describe it to us? A man? Hold on. Can I flip it over? No. No. Oh, wait. Where was it? I think I remember seeing a picture. I think I remember. Is it on the back of this one? Oh, it's on the back of something. I remember. Where is it? Oh, not this one. I do remember picking up something and like it had a picture on the back of it. Oh, not this one. Oh, shit. Where was it? This one. Okay, hold on. There's a couple of things I could present to here. Is it perhaps this one? Okay, let me make sure it's this one. Aha! Mr. Edgeworth. This little girl put all her heart into drawing that picture. And yet you would insist on denying its existence? Huh? Hey, I'm not the bad guy. All I'm saying is that as the prosecutor for the case, I wasn't handed such a picture. That may well be. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Behold!
This is the evidence list for the SL9 incident.
Please turn it over, Your Honor.
Turn it over? Turn it... Ah! What's this? Yes, what is that?
Hey, that's it. That's the picture I drew.
Indeed. Two men appear to be wrestling here.
What's the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list? Me? Only the prosecutor in charge should have access to that list.
Hmm? These lists, they're different from each other.
What?
It would appear, Mr. Edgeworth, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. These two lists fit together to form one. You can see the marks here where they were torn apart from each other.
So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, it's quite obvious what happened. 2 years ago, only half the evidence in the case ever reached you. What? What?
Order, order. But, Sky, why did you draw your picture on the back of such an important list?
Because that's what Detective Goodman handed me in the questioning room, Your Honor. Wait a minute. This list was torn in half, then that means... Your Honor...
Are you alright, Mr. Wright? Your eyes are bulging from your head.
The evidence list was torn in half. Then there might be more of the drawing on the back of Mr. Edgeworth's list.
Yes, that's quite conceivable. Mr. Edgeworth?
It's possible. Let's see.
Is something wrong?
You even have to ask?
Oh,
sorry, Your Honor. There's indeed something drawn on the back of my list. It's that thing. Huh? The blue badger?
That's that thing. That thing that was dancing in the evidence room.
Clearly this is an act of vandalism in the work of a certain chief of detectives. I guess he was out of scrap paper. Evidence list restored and updated in the court record. Half the list was found in Gant's desk.
Very well. Witness, will you please testify about the picture you drew 2 years ago?
Huh? Oh, yes, sir, Your Honor. What's wrong with Emma? She seemed to be thinking about something when she was looking at the picture. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. A flash of lightning was so bright all I could see were the shadows. After that, I must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. Oh, shit, that was a little very vague and a little less to work with.
Think a flash of lightning could burn such an image in your mind.
Thanks to that, though, she was able to show us exactly what she saw.
Well, I don't see any contradictions here. This clearly shows Joe Dark was about to murder Prosecutor Neil Marshall. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Let's see if we can find something. Oh. Is it really, though? Did you draw this picture right after the incident? I think I drew it 2 or 3 days later. First, I was in such a state of shock that I couldn't do anything.
During that time, the investigation team was reorganized. Detective Goodman was placed in charge, under the direction of Damon, Gant, and Lana Skye.
2 or 3 days later, the memory should still have been fresh in her mind.
Excuse me, witness. But can you please tell us why this picture is painted all black?
So that at the time you didn't even know it was Mr. Marshall who had come to your rescue? No, I couldn't see him clearly. The lightning was so bright, and I was knocked to the floor. You were knocked to the floor? Dark had a tight grip on me, but when Mr. Marshall jumped on him, I was knocked away. I turned around, and that's when the lightning flashed. So there's a little bit of suspicion that could be placed here. Just need to figure out what it is. Poor Emma, I'm just glad she wasn't hurt.
What happened after the lightning flashed?
You mean you didn't see the actual murder take place? No, I'm sorry.
Flash of lightning only drove off the darkness for a split second. Not only that, but the trauma of the situation understandably caused the witness to faint.
Do you really need to torture the girl any further? What? Hey, I'm not the bad guy here. Anyway, this picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. Sorry for asking so many times, but are you sure you drew exactly what you saw? Of course, this is an exact scene. It wasn't influenced in any way from your talks with the detectives. Are you insinuating we somehow manipulated her memory, Mr. Wright? No, of course not. I'd better watch out or he might find some way to cut my salary. I drew this picture before I heard anything from the detectives, so I don't think anyone's story would have influenced me.
Mr. Wright, is there something that's bothering you about this picture?
Huh? Oh, well... That's strange. She claims this is exactly the scene that was imprinted in her mind, and yet, it's clearly a contradiction here. Hey, hold on. I need to look at the court record. I'm not 100% on what the contradiction here is. Here's Emma's fingerprints. SL9 incident, half the list was Stabbed in the back, died from a punctured heart and lung. A knife tip was found in the wound. Gotta be something I'm missing here. What is the contradiction in this picture? No, this is something else. This one is titled AI-16. What the hell does this have to do with anything? It's a weapon used in the incident 2 years ago and has known many victims. What could it be? What is the contradiction here? Phoenix? Muffler. 0.5-inch knife. Single stabbing was found. There's clearly a contradiction here. What could that be, though? If I look at this image further... why does it have to be sideways? This looks so weird. What could it be? I don't think... Let me see, hold on. Turned around and that's when the lightning flashed. There's something not right here. What could it be? That's when the lightning flashed. Must have fainted. Shows exactly what I saw in that instant. Or insinuating somehow manipulated her memory, Mr. Wright. No, of course not. I better watch out. Or I heard anything from any detective, so I don't think anyone's war story would have influenced me. Mr. Wright, something bothering you about this picture? Strange. She claims this is exactly the scene that was imprinted in her mind. And yet, there's clearly a contradiction here. What could the contradiction be? Halberd was removed at Gant's behest, giving it its current form. I need to find something from 2 years ago. I don't think anything that I have of current day will probably prove to be good evidence. White enamel shoe. Is it the murder weapon? I don't think it could be the murder weapon. Could be, though. In terms of all the different evidences that could be presented. I think it was IDs, not the fingerprints. I don't think the screwdriver. Could it be the screwdriver? Could it be the weapon? Affidavit document dated 21 can be submitted to Chief Police. 21 Bruce Goodman. ID. Got his ID, but the item was lost. I don't think I need this, or at least it doesn't seem. I don't think it's a vase. I don't think it's the handprint. The security room will do anything for me. I don't know, punctured heart and lung. A knife tip was found in the wound. In the SL9 incident. What am I missing here? Is it because it looks like he's gonna stab him in the front? Or is it because it doesn't look like the initial murder weapon? There's a contradiction here. What is the contradiction? Oh, hey, Xander. Welcome to the stream. I'm currently in court. We're trying to figure out Emma's case. Yes. So I'll give a brief recap as to what just happened. So, from the last time that we played I'm pretty sure you were there as well. We entered Gant's office and we were looking around at all the different types of evidence and stuff like that. And so essentially we just progressed from there. I had to redo a couple of things since last time that we played it. My PC crashed. It hasn't done so yet. We're aiming for, or like we're about to reach the 2-hour mark. So, you know, good on that. But we went and we discussed things with Lana, and we are pretty suspicious of Chief Gant and his actions, since it seems that she's pretty much like under his thumb. She's just doing things for his sake because she's afraid of him. And so after we talked to Lana in the precinct, we came to the court today, and Edgeworth and I are currently trying to figure out how SL9 has anything to do with the current case right now. And I've been investigating, or we've been interrogating. Well, we're just asking Emma some questions and figuring things out. I think we already figured out that there was a picture. There most certainly was a picture. It was just on the back of the evidence. So now I'm trying to figure out what the contradiction is between what that picture is. Because as far as I'm aware, this is a very vague testimony that she's giving. There's like nothing to pick apart, but apparently there's something here. And that's what I'm trying to figure out right now. I'm trying to figure out what the contradiction with the evidence could be, and I've only got 2 hunches right now. My hunches are that... My hunches are either that it may have something to do with... Where is it? Actually, no, maybe 3. My hunches are either that it has... The picture as a whole has something to do with the murder weapon, because it's a little hard to distinguish what the murder weapon was. I don't know if it could have been the screwdriver. It might have been this weapon, most likely, since it was found in a piece of it was found inside of Marshall's brother. What was my other hunch? Oh, the autopsy. So my other hunch was the autopsy, because he was stabbed in the back, but you can't tell really from here if he's being stabbed in the front or the back, because earlier Emma mentioned that he was stabbed in the front, I think, but I didn't press that because there was a bigger contradiction. So I've got a couple hunches. I'm not sure which one I should go for though. It's a little difficult to try to piece together this whole story that Emma's trying to go through, but those are my hunches. Is that it could either have something to do with the weapon, since you can't really tell what it is, or that it could do something with the autopsy, which is what I'm thinking it is most likely, since like I said earlier, Emma did mention that he got stabbed in the front. So I'll try that one first. Oh, whoops. Oh wait, I can't try to present there. This picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. And yet there's a contradiction here. Ah, oh, man. I hate when I second guess myself. Among the different evidences that I have, I'm pretty sure it has something to do with SL9 pieces in particular, things from the past. So I doubt anything that I have in regards to any other crimes that I learned about earlier will help me at all, or at least not just yet. From a punctured heart in the lung, a knife tip was found in the wound. Picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. Could I present the picture and be like, this picture shows us nothing? It doesn't seem to be I don't think that's a good look. It doesn't seem like a good idea. Neil Marshall. Police department? No, I don't think that'll be useful. Death due to loss of blood. 1 knife wound died. Oh, that's Goodman's. So yeah, that would probably be my guess. She saw that. If she saw that, but it's described one way. All I could see were the shadows. All I could see were the shadows. Is it the picture? I wonder. The picture I drew 2 years ago. Flash of lightning was so bright all I could see were the shadows. After that I must have fainted. Okay, hold on. She claims that this is exactly the scene that was imprinted in her mind, and yet, it's clearly a contradiction here. That's what I'm trying to figure out what the contradiction is, though. What the hell is the problem with this picture? Hard evidence, huh? Hard evidence is what exactly? Miles Edgeworth. Evidence from SL9. Hold on, I'm gonna press again. I'm gonna see if I can get all the bits and pieces. You drew this picture right after the incident. 2 or 3 days later. At first I was in such a shock I couldn't do anything. Memory should still have been fresh in her mind. Can you please tell us why this picture is painted on all black? You didn't even know if it was Mr. Marshall who can come to save you. I was knocked to the floor. But when Mr. Marshall jumped on him, I was knocked away. Turned around. There was that lightning flash. See, this is also something that I'm rather suspicious of, because she said she couldn't see anything but the shadows, and so I feel like this picture, or like this image, isn't necessarily correct. Maybe Gant was there or something, I don't know. No. I'm not the bad guy here. The picture shows exactly what happened in that instant. But what actually did happen in that instant? Do I have something that proves that? In that instant. I feel like those might be the words. Could I don't know. It looks like he's being stabbed. Or like he's about to. Oh my god, I was on the right track. I was just second guessing myself up the ass. Oh my god. Oh my god. Second guessing is probably one of my worst abilities. God, I was like, there's so many things that it could be. But I personally think that one of my hunches is the right answer, but I have to think about all the options. Contains a blatant contradiction. What? But I still remember it just like it was yesterday.
Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster if you simply pointed out this contradiction for us. What part of this picture contradicts the autopsy report?
Huh? I mean, I don't think it's got to be the part that's not. Oh wait, is it the part that's not shaded? The contradiction, of course, lies here. Take a look at the knife the man is holding. If you closely see, you can see the tip is broken. What? Just looks like a square or a rectangle. How can you tell that the tip is already broken?
Even I don't have to look closely to see that, Mr. Wright.
Then, Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. See the murder weapon? The tip is broken too.
If I recall, the tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body.
It was a conclusive piece of evidence that proved Joe Dark was the murderer. I'm afraid it's not so simple, Emma.
And where, pray tell, could you possibly see a problem?
It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound in the back, or to the back. If the victim was only stabbed once, then the murder weapon should not yet be broken.
Ah! What's the meaning of this?
Oh shit. Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand. Oh. Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, it couldn't possibly wind up there.
That's right, but what does this mean?
Oh my god, it's just going back and forth. The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is the witness' memory is mistaken. That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure she remembered correctly. I believe you were annoyed at the time, but she was sure she remembered correctly.
But there's no other way to explain this inconsistency.
Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. There is another explanation. Have you forgotten already? About a little something called falsified evidence?
We're treading on thin ice, right?
All I'm saying is that this broken knife tip might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility.
No.
Ah!
Order, order, order. You saying the investigation really was corrupted?
Your Honor, please allow me to once again go over the events that took place on the day of the murder. The police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day. After receiving the King of Prosecutors award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark along with Damon Gant. During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Dark. It is my belief that somewhere in this story, there's a lie. Not lying. The man really was holding up a broken knife.
That's true. Then there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. There must have been another broken knife. But what are the chances of there being two broken knives?
Another broken knife besides Joe Dark's? Would there have been one? There is another one. If the witness is adamant about the accuracy of what she saw, it can't just be explained away by simple observational error. Mr. Wright. In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife.
I assume then that you have some information about this other broken knife? If so, please feel free to enlighten us.
The murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder. Only one real murder weapon. Let me see. Are my hunches correct? I was suspicious of this the first time whenever I looked at picture. I think it's either... I don't think that the spear from the... It could be the spear, but it also could be... Oh, man. The answer lies in the past 2 years in the past, right there, right here inside this picture. This is a picture of an award ceremony. Oh, this is Edgeworth. I thought this was fucking Phoenix. Whoops. I'm going too fast. My mouth is moving faster than my brain.
This is a picture of the ceremony, of the award ceremony.
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth?
It's the broken murder weapon.
Notice the award Prosecutor Marshall is holding. That's a broken knife. As we earlier concluded, the knife in the drawing was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was in all likelihood from this award. Order, order, order. Neil Marshall was awarded King of Prosecutors that day, and that award he was given this broken shield and knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out his knife. Being a prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. His broken knife was the only weapon he had in this dangerous situation. But that can't be. Oh, why not, Mr. Edgeworth? Because if the King of Prosecutors Award's knife was the murder weapon, then the murderer and the victim would be reversed. What do you mean? I mean, this man raising a knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh. Oh! But the prosecutor was the one who actually died. That's true. What's going on here? It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions. Hold? Emma? Wait! I remember now. I remember everything. Witness? Mr. Edgeworth. What is it? Could you show me your evidence list again, please? His list? The one with the picture scribbled on the back? Is that supposed to be the shield? I knew it! This picture. I'm the one who drew it. What? You drew that? That's right. The list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. It's not the Blue Badger? Or is it? All this time I've been trying so hard to forget. I must have locked this part away deep inside me.
Perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness's testimony. Would you please tell us what you recalled, Miss Sky?
Yes, Your Honor. First, the knife mix-up, and now the Blue Badger? This should be interesting. Okay, here we go. More things to learn about. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed towards both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then, there was another flash lightning, and that's when I saw the Blue Badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow.
This is certainly most unusual.
Try impossible. The chief of detectives hadn't even designed him until this year. That would mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago.
Yes, well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Stop! Please don't pursue this any further. Lana,
what's the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair.
But you can't do this. I've already confessed to the crime. Why can't you just leave it at that? Chief Prosecutor Sky.
We've already come this far. It's too late to turn back.
He dancingly descended and killed him. The Blue Badger in his dance, the dance of death caused by the Blue Badger? Could it be the actual villain in the story was the Blue Badger all along, introduced right at the beginning?
The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendant.
Seems we're finally getting to the core of the matter. Oh, when I saw the man raise his knife... Oh, whoops. Okay. When you say the man, I assume you refer to Joe Dark? Yes, at least I think it was him. You think. All I could really see were shadows. Power outage that immediately preceded the incident. It is also documented on the prosecutor's office reports. So then you... Why would you do something so dangerous? What else would I have done, or could I have done? I was about to stab Mr. Marshall. Seems convinced that Dark was the one holding the knife. But as we've just theorized, Mr. Marshall was the one holding the knife. Well, I didn't know that at the time. When that Dark guy knocked me down, all I could think was, I've got to help the other person. Uh-oh. Emma, are you the reason that Marshall is dead? What do you mean you think? It all happened so fast and I was shocked. I was in shock. I don't remember everything clearly. What I did. What kind of a blur. Miss Sky was almost killed before she was witness to the murder. Or was that? Which so much happening in a matter of seconds, a little disorientation is only natural. Brayden, why do you at me? Why do you call my name in the chat? I saw the man about to stab the other person who I thought was Mr. Marshall. I knew I had to stop the man with the knife. What you did was very brave, young girl. So then, what happened next? Blue Badger. Are you sure about this? Of course. See, I even drew a picture of him here. But it was the chief of detectives who had thought up this hideous beast. And that was just this year. The Blue Badger didn't exist 2 years ago. This is all quite verifiable. I know it sounds strange. I was surprised too when I saw him in the police department. I had this nagging feeling that I'd seen him before somewhere. Now I finally remember. Oh, brother. Just when you thought that thing had caused enough commotion, tell us, where in the room did you see him dancing? He wasn't in the room. Wasn't in the room. His shadow? You mean you didn't actually see his face with its winning smile and all? That's right, but still I remember it. He had 3 creepy horns. This is pointless. That thing couldn't have possibly existed 2 years ago. The witness must be mistaken. That may well be. But what's important is that caused her to think what she saw what she did. Oh, and I suppose you have an explanation? If so, then by all means, please tell us what this... Hold on a second. I have a hypothesis. What was it that Emma saw when the lightning flashed? Who is this Blue Badger really? I might just know. Blue Badger hadn't even been dreamt up when Emma drew this picture, yet she was certain she saw its shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a defense's belief that on that fateful day 2 years ago, there indeed was something that looks similar to the Blue Badger. Something that is now sitting in this very room. Mr. Wright. In this room? Very well, Mr. Wright. What is it that the witness saw in that instant? Please show us this mysterious Blue Badger look-alike. Could it have been this? This is what I could imagine that had 3 creepy horns. It's in the picture too, isn't it? In the office? That's what I imagine it is, but I'm gonna double check all the evidence real quick. I'm gonna assume yes. Yes, okay. Oh, what stuff, Braden? Are you guys actually making okonomiyaki later? The mysterious Blue Badger was in fact this!
But that's... what exactly is that?
I believe it's some sort of jar. But Mr. Wright, that doesn't look anything like the Blue Badger. Indeed, it doesn't. As it stands now, it's just a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint?
Our viewpoint?
I've got to show them the correct angle to look at this thing from. Oh god. Oh, okay, hold on. Oh man, this is so wonky. No, not quite. But yeah, I would imagine so if that were the case. Not really sure. I wouldn't mind. I would love to go out and eat, but as you currently know, I am broke AF right now. So I wouldn't be able to vouch for buying the ingredients. How do I make this thing look like 3 horns? Because it looks alright-ish here. Is it supposed to be like a cannon or something? Oh wait. Oh, okay. This would make it a little bit easier. Xander, no, don't make fun of my aim. So somehow I've got to make it so that These things are still to the side. How do I make it look like there's a third horn? It's from this side? No. Hmm. Kinda looks like it, but I don't think so. Hmm. From what angle would this look like the Blue Badger? The nub? This? Or are you talking about this? Oh, yeah. We can talk about it on PlayStation. Like this? This looks kind of weird. I don't think maybe? It backwards? This isn't right. Oh shit. Maybe I should rotate it vertically a bit more. Okay. The nub. How the hell? Wait a second. Oh no. Thought I was onto something. Maybe? Maybe? That just looks weird. No, I feel like it needs to be... They need to be curved down like that. If they need to be curved downwards, it needs to be like this. How the heck? Yeah, we get no penalty for it, but still, it's like, it's weird looking. See, I almost want to say like this. Almost. This is so goofy looking. Shadows do make some really weird shapes. What about... This ugly ass vase. Maybe from a different angle. Like this? Nope. I thought maybe the little thingies on the back of it like hold it, and so it is like sideways. Because what the heck are these little knob thingies in the back? What the heck is this for? So weird looking. Is it as simple as this? But then again, how would she get the top horn? Maybe like this? Oh. Huh. So God damn it! I thought it looked like that kind of earlier, but I was like, how would it look like this unless it was falling, and they would have heard that? God damn it! I was trying to put logic in a scenario that probably still requires logic. We're in a courtroom. I don't know. I'm confused and somewhat annoyed because I did think about it like this, but I was like, that's just silly. Why would it be like that? Well, is this a miracle or what? No one can possibly deny this jar's resemblance to the blue badger. No. It can't be!
Order, order. The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious blue badger witness on the day of the crime was actually this. Although we all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point?
What do you mean?
So that badger thing was actually just a jar. Doesn't change anything.
I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything.
Indeed? Very well then. Please tell us. What's different about that?
It's different now that we know that the witness saw this jar. Not the location, right? Because this was still inside their office. Yeah, the blue badger is spawn of murder. Spawn of a murder. The murder weapon, the murderer? Oh wait, let me look at the picture again. Is it... Location, the murder weapon, the murderer. What were we trying to prove again? I already just forgot. So Lana pushed someone... Wait, no, not Lana. Emma. The murder weapon? Murderer. I'd say one of these two. I'll go with location first, because it probably wasn't on Lana's side of the... But it was still in the office. Oh man, this is annoying. I wish I could go back and see what the dialogue was again. So originally, what we were trying to figure out is what the fuck does this jar help us figure out? The jar fell over, or if it was knocked into looking in that position, and Emma saw this. During this scene of the crime, that instant the lightning struck. I don't think it changes the location. The murder weapon? Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, at the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. At a very specific angle, I might add, Mr. Wright. Yes, well, knowing this, where could she have seen this jar?
Where?
The location of the jar is shown in a picture taken on the day of the crime. On a shelf in the office of Damon Gant. But the body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified to so herself. Yes, and it is these two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room, in Chief Gant's office. Are you implying the murderer moved the victim's body? From Damon Gant's office to Lana Sky's office? Yes. Why would he do that? There's no reason. Exactly. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason.
Do you know what that reason was, Mr. Wright?
I finally figured it out. So this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. Yeah. It's on Gant's side of the office. So that's what it was, but still weird that it was the murder weapon. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying?
That would have been the impact of the man. The impact the man made when he was knocked into the wall.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, where would he have hit? Wait a second! Don't tell me my intuition was correct even earlier before. If he bumped into that, did he accidentally run into the spear of the knight? Ah! Suit of armor, holding a very sharp and dangerous looking... I was right! Oh my god. I can't believe it. I didn't even think of that. I just thought that it was suspicious whenever we were talking about the broken knives and stuff like that. And I was trying to recollect if that was in Gant's office even earlier. Yes. And since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to been Neil Marshall wielding the King of Prosecutors trophy. No, Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking. Yes. There's another possibility of what actually transpired in that room.
Another possibility?
Of course, the perpetrator would have had no idea, but nevertheless. I don't know if I can go through with this.
Mr. Wright, what's the matter?
Events took place as the defense theorizes, and the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Skye knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh no. Emma killed a man? Mr. Marshall died because of me? Oh no. I never imagined her testimony would lead to this.
So it was the witness who took the victim's life, and then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented.
What are you saying? I'm sorry, Miss Skye, but given the circumstances, Joe Dark murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin the crime on her?
Imagine that coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body
was to keep anyone else from finding out about what Emma did, wasn't it? I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, I have no idea what you're talking about. You hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations. I'm afraid you're going to have to have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall? Evidence? I'm willing to bet you don't.
Yes, it certainly would be difficult to prove this with evidence.
If we don't have evidence, then we'll have to rely on testimony. I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead. Certainly can't get dead people to testify. This has all been a wild goose chase from the beginning. Oh, Edgeworth with a clutch? Touché, Miss Skye. Of course, that only leaves us with one possibility. You mean there's still another possibility? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message.
For better or for worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly.
He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life, in one manner or another. That's impossible. Well, Mr. Wright,
this is the only possibility left to you. A message from the deceased?
Does such a message exist? Gotta think back to the court record. The real murderer's name that victim may have left behind. Is it this? It's the only thing I can think of. He's wearing all types of leather. It could be a piece of his clothes. Aside from that, hold on, let me look through all the evidence again. We've got to be thorough with this. Joe Dark killing solved 2 years ago. I don't think this tells us anything else anymore. I don't think that tells us anything anymore, so I'd say yes. This message from the deceased is already in our possession. Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister a murderer? You're right, this is where Maya comes back. And she talks, she gets possessed, or she spirit mediums the body of either Joe Dark or Marshall. Do not be mistaken, Miss Sky. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There is only one thing we seek, the truth. No matter how painful it may be. Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the pieces of evidence that conveys the message from the deceased. This? This is the message from the deceased. Right. Oh. Shit! Fuck! Oh. Guess that wasn't right. It wouldn't have been written. Oh. Okay, so it is in the evidence. Whoops. Hmm. Okay, hold on. A message from the deceased. What could Marshall have left? Evidence from a past case. Okay. My angel star. What did Gant have in his office? This? Is it this? This is the message from the deceased. Oh, piss. Is it the jar? Oh no! Oh god, yeah, I'm an idiot. It's probably his blood on the jar. This is that blue badger from before, right? Oh, is he going to just speak the killer's name? If that thing could, I'm sure it would. It's like everyone's forgotten this is just a jar. A message was left here. On the surface of this jar, what do you mean? If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on the jar. It looks like someone wiped the blood away. Yes, but notice, for some reason the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away. Yes, there is a line here drawn in blood. So what you're saying is these dots were once lines? Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used the few precious moments left to him to leave behind a message. One that someone apparently wiped away. Blood must have seeped into the jar where the lines changed directions. Precisely so. All we need to do is connect these points, and the victim's message will become apparent. No. Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us? Your Honor, I believe these bloodstains will reveal to us the answer. Gotta connect the lines to make... Okay, well, I have an idea. So what am I supposed to... Anything else? Take that! It's a defense attorney's duty to prove their client's innocence. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. Emma. So this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. Oh, people. She may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Emma Skye. Seaworthy? Can't say I didn't warn you. He's back! Chief Gant. Do you understand the implications of what you've done? What? What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in the case, were you not? Ah. Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction. But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer. That's undeniable. I'm afraid that's not important. What? Didn't you know? We aren't defenders of justice. What? We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter, even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery. Ultimately, the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied. What's going on at the prosecutor's office? He might have sent an innocent man to his death. How can he just stand there like it wasn't his fault? Order, 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 order! Gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Able to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. Wait, it's not over? There's more? Well, lucky me. At least I think my mistakes don't carry over. Holy shit. That's insane. There's so many revelations to this trial. From the last time that we played when Lana said that there was forged evidence, now we know that Emma's a murderer by accident. Holy crap. There's so much going on. So many things to reveal. It's crazy. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You got a lot of nerve, pal. Making a detective run around while on duty? And to top it off, you call me here? I've seen happier people at funerals. I take it Lana's having you run errands again. Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give you this if there was a break in today's trial. Evidence law. Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day. You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Is that right, Mr. Wright? Seems so. You could at least study some evidence law, really. The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message? She said if you're planning to take him on, you're going to need this book. Him. Guess I'll need to give the book a thorough read. Evidence law. Securely slipped in the pocket. Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? I'm still sitting in the prosecutor's seat? Despite all these allegations being thrown at me. Mr. Edgeworth, the real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Skye found out that she was unwittingly caused a man's death, and now you're telling me that you want to do more? You've got to be kidding me, pal. You're missing the point, detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? And we're going to expose him, no matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. Gumshoe, I'm not sure. I mean, he's still running errands, but I think he might just be unemployed, unless Gant had other things in mind.
Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Mr. Edgeworth.
Yes, Your Honor?
The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions.
Thank you for the news, Your Honor.
Yes, well, normally this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness, but, this isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have,
struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witnesses?
I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone has been talking and...
Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution.
Solution?
That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses.
What? There's no precedent for what you're proposing.
Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It will prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses.
Very well, Mr. Wright. What do you say?
Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Is that legal? Can they do that?
Then it's settled. The, defense may now call forth the next witness.
Mr. Wright, you do realize this is your last chance. You call the wrong witness, the trial is as good as over. Defense calls. Time's finally come to bring out the real murderer. It was Meekins all along. Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand.
Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything?
As a defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor?
True. All right. Bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant into the stand.
There he is! With his... Oh, I forgot what it was called. His organ. His choir organ that accompanies him everywhere. It can be heard from the 15th floor of the building. It can be heard from across the city. Witness, please state your name and occupation.
What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch.
Your name and occupation, sir.
Worthy, are you sure you want to do this?
Your name and occupation.
So, you want to play hardball, eh? Please, Mr. Gant.
Fine.
My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police.
Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony.
Oh, righto. What's with the grim face?
First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for.
Oh, like what?
Like the role you played in all of this.
Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal.
Weapons?
Sure, take my testimony for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to.
What? Is that true?
I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify.
Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks.
Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony.
Okay.
As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day.
To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. And when I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene.
As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery.
Is that when Dark was arrested?
Him? He was lying on the floor unconscious.
When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Dark bumped his head. I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut. The police chief has the right to refuse to testify. I'd better hit him hard and fast. Alright, let's pick this apart. As I recall, a ceremony was held at the police department that day.
Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic.
After winning his award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what spooked Dark and made him run away like that. Was the defendant Lana Skye also present in the room?
I don't quite remember.
At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran for it. Slipped up. So the two of you ran immediately after him, right?
That's right, but Dark made it to the elevator first.
So Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. I guess you could say he got lucky. This is about a power outage.
Oh, that?
The elevator stopped all of a sudden and I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil was when that knife went into his heart, though. That's not funny. Could you tell us what you saw?
It was a shocking sight.
Wait, that's Neil and the serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor and all tangled together. Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor?
Yes, apparently he hit his head on and was knocked out.
Next to them were those two poor girls, and Emma.
Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, must have already known what her sister had done.
How can you know that?
Because of the victim's body. It had already been moved.
That means you found the body near Lana's desk.
That's right. I think you said it earlier. It was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor.
Yes.
Anyway.
So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you had arrived at your office?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt, but moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable no matter what the circumstances.
Is that how it really went down? Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. If you're going to stare at anything, you're better off staring at the court record.
Worthy, always the smooth talker.
Which piece of evidence ties Gant to the forgery? Lana did admit to forging evidence, but that can't be the whole truth. Somehow I've got to link Gant to the incident. Okay, so somehow I've got to tie Gant to all of this. No evidence shall be shown without approval of the police department. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Unregistered evidence. Is it this? Maybe. Maybe this too. Oh, shit. The Joe Dark killings. To make the long story short, we slipped up. Power went out, and the power didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. I'd say one of these two, if not both. And this wasn't used at all during Emma's. After this was found in Gant's desk. I'd say this also. Those two are probably the best pieces of evidence that I have. Things that we found at his desk. So I'll give it a shot. There we go. You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery? But I'm afraid that that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this list, for example.
That's the list Emma Sky drew her picture on.
This was discovered in your desk. Not only that, but a piece of this jar was sitting in your office. Wait, a piece of this jar was found in your office, or was found inside your safe.
It was found where?
You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in this illegal investigation.
Chief Gant, what's the meaning of this? Oh, here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy.
So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery?
Who, me? Or do you mean you?
Me? Why would I have anything to do with that?
Well, you were the ones who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto?
However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation.
Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment.
What? Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work.
Yes, well, in light of the detectives present, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office, and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene.
My. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. Oh, didn't you hear, Xander? I'll repeat it for you. His dick will receive due punishment.
Let's see, what was it now? A jar fragment in a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office.
Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in forgery. Rearranging the crime scenes wouldn't help me out in any way.
Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor.
When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol.
You do understand that I am the chief of police, right? There will be consequences.
Oh.
Indeed, I believe I will press charges so you won't make the same mistake again.
My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that?
Today is, well, you know.
All right, OG, in return, though. I know, that place, right?
Huh? What are these guys, telepathic?
Okay. Well, I know.
Okay, here we go. I'd appreciate it if you did stop making these ridiculous allegations.
Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that.
What? I'll have you know, back in the day, I once broke into a cattle ranch and tipped...
Mr. Wright, what are you saying?
Anyway, you can't prove that you didn't carry out the evidence. Wait, that you didn't carry in the evidence, can you? If you have proof to the contrary, then you're going to need it. You're going to need it later.
Later? What are you talking about?
What else? I'm talking about when Righto's prints are found. Yes, if they're found inside my safe. They would prove his investigation was illegal. Grr, I've never faced anyone as slimy as this guy. What do you mean by that? This is all purely hypothetical, of course, but suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery. If concealing evidence found at a crime scene isn't forgery,
I'm not through speaking yet, righto? It all depends on when the evidence was discovered.
Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation?
It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Dark was sentenced.
And wouldn't that be convenient? Right. Chief is talking about a possibility so long as you can't rule that out. Your marks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time. Tell me something I don't know.
Come now, righto. Think about it.
How can you look me in the eye and say that?
Because I'm innocent. Remember? Who was it that murdered Neil? Not sure I care for the word murder here. But in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Skye. Well, now do you see?
Really, Chief Gant? At the very least, there is one large benefit you've reaped from all this.
Oh, I wasn't aware. What is this benefit?
That would be, of course, to be the position that you have, Chief of Police.
Oh?
The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive.
Oh, ho, ho. Oh, that's a good one.
Huh?
Do you really think I'm that incompetent?
What do you mean?
Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable, eventually sped up the inevitable a little.
Is that true, Edgeworth?
Yes.
He was going to be made chief anyway.
Ah! Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might end up being the one pointed at.
So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else.
Oh. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. Brandon moment.
What the fuck? Is this Brandon Rocha if he got an education in law?
There, it's out in the open now. OG, wouldn't you mind if I changed my testimony a little?
By all means, please do.
I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me.
Nothing in it for you,
Sorry, but that's the only person I care about, is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you'd better think again.
You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone.
Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised.
You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though.
Oh, oh, oh! Oh, that's a good one, Worthy.
There have been something in it for him, given his selfishness. Would he have helped someone out? Okay, hold. True, you might not help out anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone.
Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand.
That's not what I mean.
Very well then. Who is the person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence?
It would have to be Lana, wouldn't it?
Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye? The defendant?
I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit.
Self-profit? What do you mean?
After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Skye was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant.
But how would he profit from all of this?
He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations.
You mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Oh, wait. You must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind.
Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Sky in forging evidence. Your motive to appoint her as chief prosecutor so you could control her.
Righto, my boy. You have quite an imagination.
Ah, you're right. Chief Gant just lent her $20. She owes him for it.
Let me ask you something.
What?
Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, if Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Or is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing?
Lana? She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant.
I'm afraid without any proof, this is all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture. Unless, it is also what happened in this incident. This incident? Which one would that be?
Of course I'm talking about
the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman.
The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her. What? Vine boom sound effect.
Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. Just what do you mean?
What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement.
What? Order. I said order. Mr. Wright, you can't be serious.
Huh?
This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder? That's impossible.
Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier to understand language.
It's too late, Mr. Wright.
There's no turning back for us now. It looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this.
Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief of high-ranking officer of the law is involved in this murder?
Good question. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell us.
I see. All right then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got, and it better be good. Show us evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman.
I have one idea. Okay, so I think those were already used. So let's look through the evidence in reverse order. I want to go in reverse order. So we already used these. Joe Dart killing solved 2 years ago. If I were to say, probably this one. Show us the evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman. I don't think this specifically ties him to it, but it makes him someone who was there? Question mark? Okay. I'll present it nonetheless.
This is the ID card list.
Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There's ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 777777.
Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number.
It's your number.
What? How do you know that?
The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code.
7 digits? You don't mean...
I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 777777. The same as the remaining ID card on the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. The music's starting up.
Order. Chief Gant, what do you have to say?
Nothing.
The defense search of my office was a violation of regulations.
And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card.
Ooh. Chief Gant, so you admit it? You entered the evidence room? On the day of the crime?
What about it? I'm the chief of police, whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom. What's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he?
Of course not. Why would he be?
I hadn't seen him in days. You hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gant? I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman.
What do you mean? The trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt.
No, it isn't, Your Honor. The trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing: what transpired during that meeting.
In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime.
Okay, hold on a second. They show up at the same time? Okay, no. Hold on, I gotta look through a bunch of old evidence again. Died within an hour and a half of 4 p.m. Hold on. Within an hour and a half? Okay, hold on. Maybe. I'll hold on to that one. The autopsy report. What the heck is this for? Can only be submitted. Okay, no, this doesn't tell the time. It does tell the day, though. 2:21. That might also be something. I'll have to. I doubt it, though. I already used it a good amount. It's all 2 years ago. Okay. If I were to take a guess. Oh, shit. Shit. Okay, no, it's not that. Write you up a letter of termination. Regardless, you did see Detective Goodman that day. Proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime. Oh, hey, JC, how are you? If it comes down to it, I'm doing alright, I think. I've made my first mistake just now, at least for this trial case, so I'm going to give it another second. Maybe 1 or 2 more mistakes and then I might ask for... Oh, Jace? Okay. Keep it at that. If I make 2 more mistakes, maybe I'll ask for help, but I want to make sure that I'm playing my own mind correctly. What more could it have been? The victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime. Okay, so if it wasn't the autopsy, it might be this. It might be that. It could be Goodman's note. This? Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So Detective Goodman filled a lost item report. He would have had to give that report to the chief of police. Yet you are in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure if he filed it. He filed it. How do you know? Wait, how do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh. Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room.
I accompanied him.
There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Hold on, let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the chief of police, murdered poor Goodman. Exactly. But wait, the chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card. Yes, now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of the sort. Ooh, objection. Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you really had lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body. Whoa, 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 what a... Whoa. That was a cool looking, like, freak out. Holy crap, it's like he became electrified. What was that? Chief Gant, you didn't. The murder was most likely a spur of the moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. You're forgetting, Mr. Wright, that the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey you, take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office? I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. All that time I thought it was a useless clue just taking up space. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Something taking up space? A screwdriver? Hold on. Something I haven't used. I thought it was a useless clue just taking up space. Send them back, died from a punctured heart and lung. Oh, wait, no. Useless. Was it this? Is it the parking stub? Okay, hold on. How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us the evidence. To move the victim's body, chief can't use this. Evidence from a past case of Edgeworth's brought back. I don't think the screwdriver could have been used. Not yet. Let me see if I can get this figured out. I'll give it 1 or 2 more mistakes before I'll start calling chat for any help. Curious. Could it be the pay stub? Because if I remember earlier from what Lana was saying, he said that it was already in Edgeworth's trunk. So this is how he moved Detective Goodman's body. Parking stub? Miles Edgeworth. You mean the body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car? I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car. Oh? You mean I carried the victim's body? Precisely so. But wait, even you know, I didn't plan on returning to my office after the ceremony finished that day. But you did return. Tell me why. Tell me why. Ah! I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. Ooh, 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 ooh. Spicy details. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. Oh, the screwdriver was also an answer? Wow. So I was, okay, so two of my, like, 3 hunches, I think they were right. Good on me. Good on me. Thank you, Jace. So you see, what you were really taking to the prosecutor's office wasn't the screwdriver, but the victim's body in your trunk.
Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car?
Yes, unless of course you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. To transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye.
Order, order, order! What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations?
Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took on the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken of. It was exactly the opposite.
It was a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gant, please say something. I believe...
Your time's up.
My time's up?
Sorry, Rido, but I'm not having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. Oh wait, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're to make it to the time for the early bird special. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now. What? This is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. So you're going to just run away after all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman, that's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, You think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with.
I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright?
Your Honor?
Do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Skye dispose of his body?
Do I have any concrete proof? This is, I think, day 3. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be the final day. There's gotta be something. Hold on. Concrete proof. Can I not look back at the conversation that was had? Does the phone call help at all? Radio button dials the number of the last person called. Oh, fuck no. I was hoping it would have Gant. Damn it. I don't have a strap on my mobile phone. Oh my god. Say no? Do I not have anything at all right now? Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Oh man. Okay, hold on. At this moment, does it go further? No, Your Honor, at present I have no conclusive evidence.
See, OG? In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your Oh. Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, righto? Seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, OG, I'll leave the rest to you. I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to the senior officer from our nation's law enforcement agency. Wow. Oh. Edgeworth? Wait, what? Clutchworth? Lady Luck, Maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We've yet had the honor of hearing her testimony. Lady who knows the truth, another witness. In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony. But Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify. There's still someone else, one more witness who can answer all the questions. Raised in this trial, someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person? Why do you ask me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? She may be willing to tell the truth now. You can't just stop now. Keep pushing. Where? There you are. Come forth, Lana. The defendant? The defendant, Miss Lana Sky? She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 on February 21st. Right, we're gonna call Mia. Mia's gonna make her brief but sudden appearance for this trial, just so that way we can talk to the dead. Her task, to dispose of the victim's body. In accordance with a certain someone's orders. Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor. Very well. The court will now take its final recess for the day. 15 minutes we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now in Hold on. Huh? What the fuck? He's back already? Chief Gant, Chief Gant, I thought you were going to eat. Listen good, Lana. He's talking to Lana? I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. He's making threats in court? That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. This isn't good. Of course, you'd never support such outrageous claims anyways, right? Just something to think about. All right then. I've got a lunch date to meet. Okay. If there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess. Well, damn. What the hell? Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. That chief, he's something else, eh, pals? Detective Gumshoe. I'm not a detective anymore. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Don't worry about it. I've already decided where to work now. At your office. My office? Sure. I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with. What do you mean? Maya! I miss Maya. Still, it looks like we're all out of the moves now. Chief Gant's done it again. How is it that he gets away with the upper hand? It's not fair. He has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said? Chief, that is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. Risks? What did he mean by that? It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. You mean he forfeits his right to say anything too? Who's that? It's Emma! Oh, she's back. Sorry that earlier today you kind of revealed that you accidentally murdered someone, but I'm glad to see that you're feeling better. Emma, are you okay? Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery. So she heard everything that's been going on? Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be.
It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved. Relieved? Yeah, now I finally know what really happened. I think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean, to follow Chief Gant's orders? She must have shut herself up deep inside, to force herself to do anything and everything the chief told her to do. That must be why she became so cold. It was all my fault. All because I murdered Mr. Marshall. Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal. Attaboy, Gumshoe. Teach him young. Let him know how it goes. Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. I see. Well, we'd better get back. It's time for the final act. Emma, why don't you wait? No, I'm going with you. I want to be there when Lana tells the truth. Let's go, right? It's time to end this. To be continued. I think I'm doing pretty well, to be honest. Okay, how long has it been? Oh my god, it's almost been 4 hours. We're 3 hours and 30 minutes in? Okie dokie. So, here's the plan. I didn't expect this to go for so long. This is actually insane. From day 2 to practically being done with day 3, and there's a supposed other day? That's insane. But I think we're going to wrap it up here. I didn't expect this to be so long. It's crazy. That's insane. Yeah. We were catching up from what we needed to do on day 2, and we had one trial finish up. Oh wait, this is day 4? Final day trial ladder. Oh. Holy crap, so from day 2 we made it to day 4? That's crazy. What? We went through 2 that, oh my god, in like almost 4 hours. That's insane. Oh yeah. I'm dumb. 1 day investigation, next day trial. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here. And we're gonna save this for the next time that I decide to go about and finish this. It looks like we're almost done with the first game of the Ace Attorney Trilogy, which is very exciting. I'm very glad that it actually went well, and it doesn't seem like any problems seem to have come forth. So, I'll wrap us up quite gently. So, thanks to anybody who happened to catch the stream as it's happening live. Thanks to anybody who's watching the VOD later on. Let me see, I think I can do this myself. Where's my mouse? I'm going to drop the command real quick. Anyone wants to follow on any of my social medias, my Twitter is where I'm going to be updating most of the schedule and any other such circumstances that happen to be happening. Like next week, I'm not going to be able to stream as often because I'm going to be working 6 out of the 7 days. And so it'll be very difficult for me to go about doing that, but I'll see if I can get some surprise streams set up outside of that, but definitely just in case. Oh, don't worry, Jace. That's just where I'm going to be posting things, but if you drop a follow, I'm pretty sure it'll also give a notification for whenever I go live. It looks like things are working a lot better because prior to... Oh, thank you, Jace. I will have confidence. This will probably have... the little characters dance too when someone follows? That's so cute. Oh my god, I'm getting distracted all over there. But yeah, I was out for a little bit, Jace. Well, this is actually, I think, the first time I've streamed in about maybe a month and a half or like 2 months because my PC was acting up and I also had to go get surgery done on me. And so I was out for a little bit, but we're going to see if we can go about continuing on with a lot of our regular streaming stuff. But I definitely appreciate you dropping by and definitely dropping a follow as well. Outside of that, I've got a YouTube channel where I post a lot of my older VODs and also clips of those. I've got to get my editor working on those now that I'm back on streaming, and I've also got a couple VODs that I need to upload myself. So definitely be looking out for the YouTube channel if there's anything that interests you, or if there's any games that I might have played before that you would like me to have seen, they probably will be posted on there as well. So definitely be looking out on the YouTube channel. I will be getting back to posting on there slowly but surely. Is it not on the socials? I've got it the Twitter and the YouTube channel, but I can double check it right now. Go to my YouTube channel. It's a little, okay, yeah, it's just OG, capital OG, and then the dash mark, and then San. Ah, you found it. Okay, perfect. Definitely, that's where I'm going to be posting a lot of older content. So I will admit a lot of the stuff there is going to be really like scuffed and old and like probably bad in quality. But it is where I have a lot of my older stuff posted. And I also have an editor who does clip versions of the streams, but I will be posting the VODs of older streams on there as well. So eventually, once we get around to it, I will have the full Ace Attorney playthrough on there as well. So, yes, I think that just about covers it. So, once again, I will thank any and all who happen to catch the stream as it was happening live, and thanks to anybody who's watching the VOD later on. Like I said, I got my socials ready for anybody who happens to want to look further into any of the content that I'm looking. And now that I'm back, I'm also looking to do a little bit more. I just got to get a couple things figured out. So, drop by and I'll see if I can get a couple more things and opinions working out with the rest of you. But once again, I think my third time thanking everybody. Thanks for dropping by and thanks for watching. I will see you guys on Saturday, confirmed at least, the next confirmed stream schedule date where we continue and maybe even finish Persona 4 finally. So yeah, thank you guys. I will see you guys on Saturday. If not, there might be a surprise, but no guarantees. But yep, I'll see you guys later.